Hello everyone. In today's video, I bring you a gripping account that will challenge your beliefs about the future and life itself. Let's meet Zander McAllister, a film director who had a near-death experience and returned with a shocking vision about the future of humanity. He witnessed the collapse of governments and received a specific date, September 24, 2024, as a pivotal moment of great change for our world. What he saw on the other side will leave you speechless. So, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel to not miss any content like this, and turn on the notification bell to get all the updates. Now, prepare yourself for an intense and eye-opening journey. Hello, my name is Zander McAllister. I am a film director, and I have a story to share that completely changed my life and my perception of the world. First of all, I want to make it clear that what I am about to tell is my personal experience, something that happened to me, and that still leaves me both perplexed and amazed to this day. It all began on June 30th, 2000. It was a day like any other in San Diego, California. The sun was shining brightly, the streets were busy, and I was on my lunch break, leaving the bank after withdrawing some cash. At that time, I was a staunch skeptic. My job was to tell stories through film, but I never imagined that I would become the protagonist of such an incredible and transformative story myself. As I crossed a busy street, distracted by my own thoughts, I didn't notice the danger approaching. Suddenly, I felt a brutal impact. A truck hit me at high speed. The shock was so strong that I was thrown through the air. I remember seeing the blue sky spinning above me for a brief moment before everything went dark. What happened next is something I am still trying to process and fully understand. It's an experience that challenges everything I believed was possible, everything I thought I knew about life and death. When I regained consciousness, I was no longer on the street. I felt no pain, no fear, no physical sensations at all. It was as if I had been transported to another plane of existence. The silence was absolute. A quietness unlike anything I had ever experienced before. It was then that I looked down and saw something that deeply shocked me. My own body, lying on the street, covered in blood. The scene seemed surreal. The truck that had hit me was stopped nearby with its windshield shattered. The driver looked to be in shock, frozen behind the wheel. People were beginning to gather around, some shouting for help, others with phones in hand, presumably calling an ambulance. But I was above it all, watching as if I were an audience member in a movie. There was no panic, no pain, just a sense of peace and curiosity about what was happening. Before I could fully process this vision of myself, I was enveloped by a light. It wasn't an ordinary light. It was something I had never seen before. Intense, pure, welcoming. It felt as though this light had a life of its own, calling me, inviting me to something greater. And so, my journey beyond life as I knew it began. A journey that would forever change my understanding of the universe, of existence, and of the purpose of life. A journey that would reveal secrets about the future and give me a new mission. This is my story. The story of how I died and was reborn, not just physically, but spiritually. It is the story of how I saw the other side and came back to tell the tale. It is the story of how I discovered that there is so much more to existence than what our eyes can see or our minds can comprehend. As I am surrounded by this extraordinary light, I feel myself being transported to a place that defies any earthly description. It is as if I am floating in an ocean of clouds, but not like the clouds we see in the sky. These clouds are denser, almost tangible, radiating an energy that I can feel in every fiber of my being. Time seems not to exist here. I can't say if I spent seconds or eternities in this expanded state of consciousness. What I can affirm is that each moment is infused with a clarity and understanding I had never experienced before. It is in this ethereal environment that I encounter a presence. I can't describe it as a human figure or any form we know. It is more like an energy, a consciousness radiating kindness and wisdom. Though it has no defined shape, I instinctively know I am in the presence of an angelic being. Communication with this entity doesn't occur through spoken words. It is an exchange of thoughts and emotions so clear and immediate that it makes our language seem primitive by comparison. Every nuance of meaning is transmitted instantly, without the need for explanations or clarifications. This angelic figure begins to show me something that leaves me stunned. My entire life, like a high-definition movie, unfolds before my eyes. I see myself as a child, a teenager, an adult. Every decision I made, every moment of joy or sorrow, every impact I had on other people's lives, it's all there, crystal clear and vivid. The most surprising thing is that I am not just watching these events. I am reliving every emotion, every sensation, the love I gave and received, the pain I caused and experienced, the regrets, the achievements. All of it floods me with an overwhelming intensity. I realize mine with a clarity I never had before, how my actions affected not only my life, but the lives of everyone around me. I see the ripples of consequences spreading out from every choice I made, for good and for bad. It's a lesson in interconnection and responsibility that touches me deeply. But the angelic being makes me understand that this life review is not a judgment. There is no condemnation, only understanding and learning. I feel an unconditional love emanating from this presence, a love that accepts every aspect of my being, even those I had difficulty accepting in myself. As I absorb these revelations, the entity communicates to me that there is something more for me to see, something that is not related to my past, but to the future. I feel a mix of anxiety and curiosity. What could be so important that it would be shown to me at this transcendent moment? That's when a vision begins to form before me. A date stands out with striking clarity, September 24, 2024. The precision of this date intrigues me. Why this specific day? What does it mean? As these questions arise in my mind, the vision expands, revealing scenes that leave me both stunned and concerned. At this moment, I am still trying to comprehend the full meaning of what I saw. It is a vision of the future that I carry with me, a responsibility that I feel compelled to share with the world. But before I can delve deeper into this revelation, I am overcome by a sense that my journey in this ethereal realm is coming to an end. The angelic figure conveys one final thought to me. My mission on Earth is not yet complete. There is more for me to do, more for me to share. With this understanding, I feel myself being pulled back to physical reality, back to my broken body on the street in San Diego. The transition is abrupt and shocking. The silence and peace of the spiritual realm are replaced by the cacophony of sirens and alarmed voices. The physical pain hits me like a wave, brutally reminding me of the fragility of the human body. But even amidst this suffering, I carry with me the serenity and knowledge gained from my journey beyond life. The impact of returning to my body is overwhelming. The pain is intense, almost unbearable. I feel every broken bone, every torn tissue. The fractures in my wrists and the injury to my spine leave me immobilized. The contrast between the peace I experienced moments ago and the current physical agony couldn't be more striking. Paramedics move around me, their urgent voices mixed with the sound of sirens. I hear fragments of their conversations, multiple fractures, possible head trauma, internal bleeding. Their faces show concern but also determination. They are fighting to keep me alive. As I am placed in the ambulance, a strange calm envelops me, contrasting with the chaos around me. Despite the physical pain, I feel at peace. I know that I have been through something extraordinary, something that has fundamentally changed who I am. The memory of the light, the angelic figure, and the visions I had remain vivid in my mind. At the hospital, the doctors work tirelessly to stabilize my condition. I hear comments about how it's a miracle that I survived the impact. They have no idea how true that statement is. While I fight for my life on the physical plane, my mind is filled with the revelations I received on the spiritual plane. The days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months. My recovery is slow and painful. Every movement is a challenge, every progress a hard-won victory. But there is something different in me now. An inner strength that I didn't have before. A determination fueled by the understanding that there is a greater purpose to my survival. During this recovery period, I experienced something extraordinary. I start hearing voices. They are not hallucinations induced by medication, but clear and comforting guidance. The voices guide me, advise me on how to live my new life. They reinforce the importance of the mission I received, constantly reminding me of the crucial date, September 24th, 2024. The doctors are perplexed by my recovery. They call it miraculous, unable to explain how someone with such severe injuries can recover so well. But I know there are forces beyond medical understanding at work here. With each passing day, I feel stronger, not only physically, but spiritually. As my body heals, my mind expands. I begin to see the world in an entirely new way. The worries that once consumed me, money, status, professional success, now seem trivial. In their place, a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all things emerges, along with an unconditional love for all existence. I realized that my near-death experience wasn't just about me. It was a call, a summons to share an important message with the world. The vision I had of the future, centered on the date of September 24th, 2024, weighs heavily on my mind. I know I have a responsibility to prepare people for what is coming. As I recover, I begin to plan how I will fulfill this mission. I know that many may doubt my story, may label me as crazy or opportunistic, but I also know that there are those who will listen, who will feel the truth in my words. It is for them that I must speak. The journey of physical recovery is coming to an end, but my true journey is just beginning. I leave the hospital not just as a survivor, but as a transformed man, with a clear purpose and an urgent message to share with the world. Today, as I look out the window of my apartment in San Diego, I see the world with completely new eyes. The traffic on the street, the people rushing on the sidewalks, the birds flying in the sky all seem imbued with a deeper meaning, a beauty I couldn't perceive before. My near-death experience didn't just save me physically, it also transformed me spiritually. The person I was before the accident, the skeptic, the materialist, the man focused solely on success and recognition, now seems like a stranger. In his place, I find myself as someone deeply connected with the fabric of existence, someone who understands that there is so much more to life than what we can see or touch. The unconditional love I felt during my experience on the other side now permeates every aspect of my life. I see every person I meet, not as a stranger, but as part of a vast universal family. Their struggles, their joys, their hopes, all resonate within me in a way I never thought possible. My work as a film director has also undergone a radical transformation. Before, I sought to create stories that would impress, that would bring me fame and recognition. Now, I feel compelled to use my art to convey deeper messages. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with clear insights on how I should proceed, how I can best prepare people for the changes that are coming. The date of September 24th, 2024 is always present in my mind. As the days pass and that date approaches, I feel a growing urgency. The vision I had, of great governments collapsing, of seemingly invincible systems crumbling, sometimes frightens me. But it also fills me with hope, for I saw that on the other side of this chaos arises a new era of freedom and transformation. I now dedicate much of my time to studying and meditating on the meaning of this date. I have delved into numerology, discovering that the number 5, resulting from the sum of the digits of 0924-2024, symbolizes change and revolutions. This only reinforces the importance of the vision I received. However, I know that I can't simply sit and wait for this date to arrive. I feel an immense responsibility to help people prepare, not just for the physical changes that may occur, but for the spiritual transformation I believe to be the true essence of this new era. I've started giving talks, writing about my experience. I meet people who are open, who feel that something big is about to happen, even if they don't know exactly what. For them, my words resonate, offering perspective, offering hope. Of course, I also meet skeptics, those who dismiss my story as fantasy or hallucination. I don't blame them. I would have been one of them before my experience. But now, I face these doubts with understanding and compassion. I know that every person has their own path of discovery, and that not everyone is ready to accept truths that challenge their worldview. As I share my story and my message, I see subtle changes happening around me. People start to question more deeply the purpose of their lives, to seek more meaningful connections, to open themselves to possibilities beyond the material world. This is the new perspective on life I've gained. A vision of a world where love, compassion, and unity are the driving forces. A world on the verge of great transformation. And I am here now, doing everything I can to help guide humanity through this imminent change. As the days pass, I feel a growing urgency regarding the date I saw in my vision, September 24th, 2024. We are quickly approaching this crucial moment, and I know that I have an important role to play in preparing people for what is to come. My approach to this preparation is multifaceted. On one hand, I'm using my skills as a filmmaker to create documentaries and short films that explore themes of personal and collective transformation. These films don't directly speak of my near-death experience or the specific date, but they emphasize the need to be open to change, to cultivate resilience and compassion in the face of uncertainty. At the same time, I'm organizing workshops and retreats. In these events, I share meditation techniques and spiritual practices I've learned since my experience. The goal isn't to create followers or establish a new belief system, but to help people connect with their own inner wisdom, to develop a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. I'm also writing a book. It's not just a recounting of my near-death experience, but a broader exploration of what it means to be alive at this critical moment in human history. In it, I discuss the nature of reality, the interconnectedness of all things, and the importance of unconditional love as a transformative force. A significant part of my work involves helping people free themselves from fear. The vision I had of governments collapsing and systems crumbling may seem frightening at first glance, but I try to show that these changes, while potentially challenging, are necessary for the emergence of a new era of freedom and transformation. I encourage people to prepare not only spiritually but also practically. This includes strengthening community ties, developing self-sufficiency skills, and learning to live more sustainably and in harmony with nature. I believe these skills will be crucial in the world to come. At the same time, I'm aware that I must be cautious in how I present these ideas. I don't want to create panic or fuel conspiracy theories. My message is one of hope and empowerment, not fear and despair. I emphasize that regardless of what may happen on September 24th, 2024, each of us has the power to positively influence the course of events through our actions and attitudes. An important part of my preparation involves networking with other individuals and organizations who share similar visions about the future. I am in contact with scientists, philosophers, spiritual leaders, and social activists. Together, we are working to create a support and information network that can help guide people through the changes that are coming. I am also paying close attention to current events, looking for signs that might confirm or clarify the vision I had. I observe global trends in politics, economics, technology, and the environment with a keen eye. Each significant development seems to fit into a larger pattern, reinforcing my belief that we are truly approaching a crucial turning point. However, I remain humble and open. I know that, despite the clarity of my experience, my understanding is limited. I am constantly learning, adjusting my perspectives as new information emerges. I encourage those who follow me to do the same, to question, to think critically, and not to blindly accept my words or anyone else's. As 2024 approaches, I feel a mixture of emotions. There is anxiety, yes, but also a deep sense of purpose and even excitement. I feel that I am exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I need to do. Every day is an opportunity to spread more light, to help more people prepare, not just for a specific date, but for a new way of being in the world. I look at the calendar on my wall, with the days marked leading up to September 24th, 2024. Each mark is a reminder of the responsibility I carry, of the message I need to share, but it is also a reminder of the incredible journey I am living. A journey that began with a near-fatal accident and now leads me toward a future full of possibilities. I take a deep breath, centering myself in the present moment. The future will arrive in its own time. For now, my job is to continue preparing the ground, planting seeds of awareness and transformation. And so, with renewed determination, I return to my work, grateful for the opportunity to serve at this crucial moment in human history. Since my near-death experience, the concept of unconditional love has been central to my life and my message. It is something I experienced so deeply and transformatively during my journey beyond this world that it has become the lens through which I see all existence. The love I felt on that spiritual plane was unlike anything I had ever experienced on earth. It was a love that accepted everything, that didn't judge, that embraced every aspect of being, the qualities we consider good and those we tend to reject. It's not just a pleasant feeling or an abstract ideal, but a powerful and transformative force that has the potential to reshape our society and our world. In my talks and workshops, I emphasize the importance of cultivating this unconditional love in our daily lives. It starts with self-love, accepting all parts of ourselves, our strengths and weaknesses, our successes and failures. It's a challenging process, especially in a society that often teaches us to be hard on ourselves, to constantly judge ourselves. But I believe it's essential for our individual and collective evolution. From that self-love, we can then extend this unconditional love to others. This doesn't mean approving of all actions by all people, but rather recognizing the fundamental humanity in each individual, even those we disagree with or who have caused us pain. It's a love that seeks to understand, that offers compassion, even in the face of adversity. I see this unconditional love as the foundation for the new era that is coming. In the vision I had, I saw systems and structures collapsing. I believe what will emerge in their place will be communities and societies based on this deeper, more inclusive love. It will be a paradigm shift from a world based on fear, competition, and separation to a world based on love, cooperation, and unity. However, I also recognize that this is not an easy concept to accept or practice. Many people, when I talk about unconditional love, look at me with skepticism or disbelief. We live in a world that often teaches us to be cautious, to protect our hearts, to love only those we deem worthy. But what I learned from my experience is that we are all worthy of this love. Not because we are perfect or because we always do the right thing, but simply because we exist. Every being is a unique expression of universal consciousness. Every life an opportunity for love to manifest in a new way. Sometimes, when I talk about this, people ask me if I'm suggesting that we should tolerate harmful or abusive behavior in the name of love. That's not what I mean. Unconditional love doesn't mean the absence of boundaries or lack of discernment. On the contrary, it's a love that is strong enough to set healthy boundaries, to say no when necessary, but that does so from a place of compassion and understanding, not from anger or resentment. As we approach 2024, I see the cultivation of this unconditional love as a crucial part of our preparation. We don't know exactly what the future holds, but I know that whatever we face, it will be easier if we face it with open and compassionate hearts. I envision a world where this unconditional love is the norm, not the exception. A world where our institutions, our schools, our governments, our businesses operate from this principle. A world where every interaction, every decision, every policy is based on this deep and inclusive love. It may seem like a utopian dream, but I believe it's possible. In fact, I believe it's necessary for our survival and evolution as a species, and each of us has the power to contribute to this transformation, starting with our own lives, our own relationships, our own communities. So, as we continue our journey toward 2024 and beyond, I invite everyone to explore the power of unconditional love in their own lives, to experience what it means to love without judgment, to accept without conditions, to forgive without reservations. It's a challenging path, but also incredibly rewarding. And I believe it's the path that will lead us to a brighter and more harmonious future for all of us. The vision I had during my near-death experience about the events of September 24, 2024, remains vivid in my mind. It's a powerful and, at times, disturbing image of major global changes. I see powerful governments collapsing, systems that seemed unshakable crumbling like sandcastles. It's a vision of chaos and transformation on a scale that is hard to fully comprehend. However, it's crucial to understand that this vision is not a foretelling of despair or total destruction. On the contrary, what I saw beyond this period of turbulence was the emergence of something new and potentially wonderful. A new era of freedom and transformation, where power is redistributed, and the old structures of control and manipulation no longer have a place. It's important to note that while I saw these events clearly, the exact interpretation and specific details are still a mystery to me. I don't know exactly how these changes will manifest or what their immediate ramifications will be. What I do know is that they represent a fundamental shift in how our society functions. I imagine a world where people have more control over their own lives, where communities are more self-sufficient and interconnected. I see a future where technology is used to empower and connect, not to control or divide. A world where our relationship with the environment is based on respect and sustainability, not exploitation. However, I also understand that this transition won't be easy. Major changes are rarely smooth or painless. There will be challenges, confusion, and likely conflicts as we struggle to adapt to this new reality. That's why I believe it's so crucial to prepare now, not just practically, but also emotionally and spiritually. The vision I had is not a fixed and unchangeable future. I believe we have the power to influence how this transition will unfold through our collective actions and attitudes. That's why I emphasize the importance of unconditional love and unity. If we can face these changes with compassion, understanding, and a shared sense of purpose, we will be able to navigate them more smoothly and create a more positive outcome for all. Sometimes, when I talk about this vision, people ask if I'm predicting the end of the world. That's not what I see or believe. What I see is the end of a world, the end of a system that no longer serves the greater good of humanity. And with that end comes the birth of something new, something potentially more just, more compassionate, and more aligned with our true nature as spiritual beings. It is natural to feel fear or anxiety when faced with the prospect of great changes. But I also see a lot of hope in this vision. I see the opportunity to correct many of the imbalances and injustices that have plagued our society. I see the chance to create a world that works for everyone, not just a privileged few. Of course, there are those who question the validity of this vision. Some see it as a utopian fantasy, while others view it as a dangerous apocalyptic prophecy. I understand these concerns, and I don't ask anyone to blindly accept what I say. On the contrary, I encourage everyone to question, to explore for themselves, and to draw their own conclusions. What I can say is that this vision has fundamentally changed the way I see the world and my place in it. It has given me a sense of purpose and urgency that guides my actions every day. I'm not just passively waiting for 2024 to arrive. I am actively working to create the conditions for a smoother and more positive transition. I believe each of us has a role to play in this great transformation. We don't have to wait until 2024 to start making positive changes in our lives and in the world around us. We can begin now, cultivating love and compassion, building stronger communities, and making choices that support a more sustainable and just future. As we approach September 24, 2024, I will continue to share my vision and do what I can to help people prepare. I don't know exactly what the future holds, but I have faith that if we come together with love and shared purpose, we can create a better world on the other side of this great transformation. Since my near-death experience, I have reflected deeply on the role of spirituality in our lives and in our society. What I saw and felt during my journey beyond this world has convinced me that spirituality, not necessarily organized religion, but a deep connection to something greater than ourselves will be crucial in the new era that is coming. In the vision I had of the future, I saw not only changes in the external structures of our society, but also a profound transformation in human consciousness. The spirituality I envision for the future is inclusive and personal. It is a spirituality that recognizes the fundamental unity of all existence and honors the diversity of paths that people may take in their search for meaning and connection. In the new era that is approaching, I believe we will see a fusion of science and spirituality. The artificial divisions we have created between these domains will begin to dissolve as we recognize that both are paths to understanding and interacting with reality. We are already seeing signs of this happening, with scientists exploring concepts like consciousness and interconnection in ways that would have been unthinkable a few decades ago. I see spirituality playing a crucial role in how we navigate the changes that are coming. It will offer us an anchor in times of uncertainty, a source of strength and resilience as we face challenges. Most importantly, it will provide us with a broader perspective, reminding us that we are part of something greater than our individual concerns and struggles. One of the most profound lessons I learned in my near-death experience was the reality of the interconnection of all things. I saw how every thought, every action, every choice we make has an impact that extends far beyond ourselves. I believe that as more people awaken to this truth, we will see a fundamental shift in how we relate to one another and to the world around us. This understanding of interconnection is at the heart of the spirituality I see emerging. It is a spirituality that reminds us of our responsibility to each other and to the planet. It challenges us to live in a way that honors these connections, to make decisions that consider the greater good, not just our individual desires and needs. However, it's important to note that this shift to a more spiritual consciousness won't happen automatically or without effort. It requires a conscious commitment on our part to grow, to learn, and to evolve. That's why I've dedicated so much time to sharing spiritual practices and personal development techniques. Meditation, mindfulness, contemplative practices, these tools, once seen as esoteric or fringe, are becoming increasingly mainstream. And I believe they will become even more crucial as we approach 2024 and beyond. These practices help us cultivate the inner peace and clarity we will need to navigate the challenges that lie ahead. Additionally, I see spirituality playing an important role in healing, both individual and collective healing. Many of us carry deep wounds, traumas that affect how we move through the world. As we open ourselves to a more spiritual understanding of life, we find new ways to address and heal these wounds. And as we heal individually, we contribute to the healing of our society as a whole. However, it's also important to recognize that this shift toward greater spirituality won't be without challenges. There will be resistance, both from established institutions that may feel threatened by this change and from within ourselves. Our egos, our fears, our doubts, all of these can become obstacles on our spiritual path. But what I saw in my vision gives me hope. I saw a future where these barriers are overcome, where people are able to connect with their spiritual nature in a way that is authentic and powerful. I saw a world where spirituality is not something separate from our everyday lives, but integrated into everything we do. I imagine communities coming together not just for worship or ritual, but to explore the great questions of life together. I see workplaces that honor the spiritual needs of their employees as much as their physical and emotional needs. I see an educational system that nurtures not only the minds of our young but also their hearts and souls. This vision of a more spiritually conscious future is not a utopian fantasy. It is a real possibility, one that I believe we are on the threshold of realizing. But it requires our active commitment and participation. Each of us has a role to play in this great transformation. As we approach September 24, 2024, I encourage everyone to explore their own spirituality. This can mean different things for different people. For some, it may be through meditation or prayer. For others, it may be through connecting with nature or serving others. The important thing is that we remain open to the journey, willing to question our assumptions and expand our understanding of who we are and why we are here. The spirituality I see emerging is not about escaping the world, but about engaging more deeply with it. It's about recognizing our fundamental interconnectedness and living in a way that honors that truth. It's about finding purpose and meaning in our lives and using that to create a better world for everyone. As we continue our journey toward 2024 and beyond, I remain optimistic. Despite the challenges we face, I believe we are on the threshold of a new era of spiritual consciousness, an era that has the potential to transform not only our individual lives but our entire society and world. And each of us has a role to play in this great transformation. Since I began sharing my near-death experience and the vision I had of the future, I have faced a considerable amount of skepticism and doubt. This is not surprising. After all, my story challenges many of the fundamental assumptions we have about reality, life, and death, and the vision I had of future events, especially centered around a specific date, naturally raises questions and concerns. I completely understand these skeptical reactions. Before my experience, I myself would have been deeply skeptical of someone telling a story like mine. As I've mentioned before, I was a committed skeptic, someone who only believed in what could be seen and touched. My transformation from skeptic to someone who now speaks openly about spiritual experiences and visions of the future was not easy or instantaneous. The skepticism I face comes from various directions. There are those who question the reality of my near-death experience, suggesting it could have been a trauma or medication-induced hallucination. Others accept that I may have had a profound experience but doubt the validity of my visions of the future. And there are those who are skeptical of the very idea that major global changes could occur on a specific date. I face these doubts and skepticism with understanding and patience. I don't expect everyone to immediately accept what I'm saying. In fact, I encourage people to question, to think critically, and to not blindly accept my words or those of anyone else. Healthy skepticism is an important part of how we navigate the world and arrive at the truth. At the same time, I invite people to keep an open mind. My experience has taught me that there is much more to reality than what our physical senses can perceive, or what our current science can explain. I ask people to consider the possibility that there may be truths beyond our present understanding. One of the questions I frequently receive is, "And what if nothing happens on September 24th, 2024? It's a valid question and one that I ask myself. My answer is that even if the specific events I saw in my vision don't materialize exactly as I saw them, it doesn't invalidate the broader message I received about the need for transformation and the importance of unconditional love. I believe the future is not fixed, but fluid. Our collective actions and choices have the power to shape what is to come. Perhaps by sharing my vision and working to create positive change, we are altering the course of events. Perhaps the great collapses I saw can be avoided or mitigated through our conscious actions." Another challenge I face is being labeled a doomsday prophet or a conspiracy theorist. These characterizations bother me deeply because they don't accurately reflect my message or intentions. I am not preaching the end of the world or promoting unfounded conspiracy theories. I am sharing a profound personal experience and a vision of change and transformation that I believe is crucially important for our collective future. Dealing with this skepticism and these misunderstandings can be exhausting. There are times when I wonder if it's worth continuing to share my message in the face of so much resistance. But then I remember the depth of my experience, the clarity of the vision I received, and I know I cannot stay silent. I also find strength in the people who have been touched by my story, those who have felt a resonance with my message. I regularly receive messages from individuals who tell me that my experience helped them see life from a new perspective, that it inspired them to seek a deeper connection with their own spirituality. These stories remind me why I continue to speak, even in the face of skepticism and doubt. One of the most important lessons I learned through my experience is the importance of humility. While I deeply believe in the truth of my experience and the significance of the message I received, I also recognize that my understanding is limited. I don't have all the answers. There is much that I still don't understand about my experience and the visions I had, This humility helps me navigate the challenges of skepticism. When I'm confronted with tough questions or criticism, I don't pretend to have all the answers. Instead, I share honestly what I know and what I don't know. I acknowledge the limitations of my understanding and express my willingness to learn and grow. I also find it important to keep an open dialogue with those who hold different views. I engage in conversations with skeptics, scientists, and religious leaders. These discussions aren't always easy, but they are often enriching. They challenge me to articulate my experience and beliefs more clearly and help me refine my understanding. One of the biggest challenges I face is balancing, sharing my message with respecting each person's right to reach their own conclusions. I don't want to impose my beliefs on anyone. My goal is not to convert people to my way of thinking, but to offer a perspective that can expand our collective understanding of reality and our place in it. As we approach September 24, 2024, I know that skepticism and doubt are likely to increase. There will be those who anxiously wait to see if my vision comes true, and others who will point to any lack of dramatic events as proof that my experience was false. But for me, the true test is not whether specific events occur on a specific date. The real test is whether we, as individuals and as a society, can embrace the deeper lessons I received in my experience. Lessons about unconditional love, interconnection, and the spiritual nature of our existence. As we continue on this journey toward 2024 and beyond, I remain open to dialogue, constructive criticism, and the possibility that my own understanding may evolve. I invite everyone, skeptics and believers alike, to join me in this exploration. For I believe that through this open and honest dialogue, through this willingness to question and explore, we can collectively move closer to the truth and create a better future for all of us. Skepticism and doubt are natural and important parts of any journey toward truth. They challenge us to examine our beliefs, seek evidence, and refine our understanding. But I also believe it is equally important to keep our minds and hearts open to possibilities that go beyond our current understanding. My near-death experience taught me that there is more to reality than what we can see or touch. It taught me that love is the most powerful force in the universe and that we are all deeply interconnected. These are the truths I will continue to share, no matter the skepticism I may face. And so, I continue my journey, grateful for the opportunity to share my story, open to dialogue and growth, and deeply committed to the vision of a more loving and spiritually conscious future for all humanity. As I sit here today, reflecting on the incredible journey my life has been since that fateful day in San Diego, I feel a mix of emotions. There is gratitude for the second chance I've been given, anticipation for what lies ahead, and a deep sense of responsibility for the message I have been tasked with sharing. The road ahead, as we approach September 24, 2024, is neither clear nor easy. There is much work to be done, many minds and hearts to reach, much preparation to be made, but I feel energized by this challenge, driven by a purpose that is greater than myself. My focus now is on three main areas. First, I continue to share my story and the message I received as widely as possible. This includes speaking engagements, workshops, media interviews, and writing books. My goal is to reach as many people as possible, not to convince them to believe in me, but to inspire them to explore for themselves the great questions of life, death, and purpose. Second, I am working to create support networks and communities that can help people prepare for the changes I believe are coming. This includes study groups, spiritual retreats, and grassroots community initiatives focused on sustainability and resilience. Third, I am dedicating myself to my own continuous growth and development. I recognize that to be an effective messenger, I must continue to work on myself, deepen my own understanding, and live in accordance with the truths I have learned. As we move toward 2024, I anticipate that things will intensify. I believe we will see increasingly clear signs of the changes to come. Some of these signs may be challenging or even frightening. Collapses of established systems, political and economic turbulence, environmental challenges. But I also believe we will see signs of hope. an increase in spiritual awareness, grassroots movements for positive change, surprising advancements in technology and science that support a more holistic view of reality. My role, as I see it, is to help people navigate these changes, not as a leader or a guru, but as a fellow traveler who has glimpsed what may lie ahead. I want to help people find their own inner strength, their own connection to the divine, their own capacity for unconditional love. I know there will be challenges ahead. The skepticism and resistance I've already faced will likely increase as we approach the date I saw in my vision. There will be those who try to discredit my message, who label me as crazy or a fraud. But I am prepared for this. My experience has given me an inner strength and certainty that cannot be shaken by external doubts. At the same time, I remain open to the possibility that my understanding may evolve. I continue to learn, to grow, and to refine my message based on the interactions I have and the new information that arises. My near-death experience showed me that there is much more to reality than what we can perceive with our physical senses or comprehend with our limited minds. Therefore, I remain humble before the mystery of existence. As we approach September 24, 2024, my message to everyone is one of hope and empowerment. Regardless of what may happen on that specific date, I believe we are on the threshold of a great transformation, and each of us has a role to play in that transformation. I invite everyone to join me on this journey, to explore their own inner truths, to cultivate unconditional love in their lives, and to prepare, spiritually, emotionally, and practically, for the changes that are coming. The future I saw is not a fixed destination but a possibility. Through our collective choices and actions, we have the power to shape that future. We can create a world of greater harmony, compassion, and spiritual awareness. A world where we recognize our fundamental interconnectedness and live according to that truth. As I look to the future, I feel a mixture of anticipation and peace. I know the road ahead won't be easy, but I also know that we are not alone on this journey. There are forces greater than us working for the greater good, guiding us toward a brighter future. And so, I conclude this narrative with an invitation and a promise. An invitation for all of you to join me on this journey of transformation, and a promise to continue sharing my truth, to keep working toward a better future, no matter the challenges we may face. Thank you for listening to me, for considering my story, and for being open to the possibility that there may be more to reality than what our eyes can see. Together, I believe we can navigate the changes to come and create a more loving, more conscious, and more spiritually awakened world. The future is in our hands. Let's embrace it with courage, compassion, and unconditional love. If you enjoyed this beautiful spiritual testimony, leave a like, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to activate the notification bell to watch each new video and help us spread this message to a larger audience. See you next time.